So our topic for the day is week 3 and 4, which is the sorting. Week 3 is for the internal sorting and week 4 is for external sorting. So let me share my screen to you. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay, let's start. So again, the topic is week 3 and 4, which is internal and external sorting. So the learning outcome for this topic is by the end of this module, a student is able to 1. Define sorting, 2. Identify the categories of sorting, 3. Identify the various cases in sorting techniques, 4. Identify the different types of sorting techniques. Okay, so the topics covered, the categories, complexity of sorting, efficiency of sorting, and types of sorting. So what is sorting? So sorting refers to the operation or technique of arranging and rearranging sets of data in some specific order. So a collection of records called a list, where every record has one or more fields. The fields which contain a unique value for each record is termed as the key field. So again, when you say sorting, it's mean the arrangement of the sets of data in, of course, in a specific order. So there are two categories of sorting. The first one is the internal, and the second one is the external sorting. So what is internal sorting? If all the data that is to be sorted can be adjusted at a time, in the main memory, the internal sorting method is being performed. External sorting. When the data that is to be sorted cannot be accommodated in the memory at the same time, and some has to be kept in auxiliary memory such as hard disk, floppy disk, magnetic tapes, etc., then external sorting methods are performed. So those are the definitions. Later on, I'm going to give you some example of internal and external sorting. So complexity of sorting algorithms. So the definition of this one, the complexity of sorting algorithm calculates the running time of a function in which a number of items are to be sorted. The choice for which sorting method is suitable for a problem depends on several dependency configurations for different problems. So the most noteworthy of these configurations are length of time spent by the programmer in programming a specific sorting program. Second, amount of machine time necessary for running the program. And third, amount of memory necessary for running the program. So again, if you are to select a type of sorting algorithm, these are the things that you have to consider. First, time spent by the programmer. Second, machine time necessary for running the program. And third, memory necessary for running the program. So don't forget about that. So efficiency of sorting techniques, there are terms or various cases, which is the best case, the worst case, and the average case. So later on, we're going to tackle this one by one in the given example for you to understand more. So these are the types of sorting techniques. We have the bubble, we have the selection, we have the insertion, the merge sort, and the quick sort. So by the way, to categorize the sorting techniques given on the screen, bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, and quick sort are internal sorting, okay? While the merge sort is external, okay? So what is a bubble sort algorithm? So bubble sort algorithm is used to arrange n elements in ascending order, and for that, you have to begin with the 0th element and compare it with the first element. If the 0th element is found greater than the first element, then the swapping operation will be performed. So the two values will get interchanged, and this way, all the elements of the array get compared. So this is the example of a bubble sort algorithm. So a bubble sort works by comparing each item in the list to the item to the right of it. The item is then moved based upon whether it is bigger or smaller. So the first one is compare the first two numbers. So are they in order? So the first two numbers are what? 10 and 2. Okay? Okay, so these are the first number, the 10 and the 2. So if we're going to compare, is this sorted? Of course not. Why? Because 10 is greater than 2. So step 2, since this is not sorted, we have to interchange or swap the values. So 2 will be exchanged into 10. Okay, so that's why on the second given set, here, 2 was moved in the first place, and then next is 10. So again, if you're going to sort, we're going to compare two values at a time. So now, 2 is in the right position. Moving to the next data, 10 compared to 6. Okay, is 10 greater than 6? Yes. So since 10 is greater than 6, then you have to swap. Okay? So meaning to say they have to change position. So by the way, don't forget, if you're going to interchange or swap, it should be in the position of those compared compared values. Okay? So step 3. So move to the next two numbers. Are they in order? Adjust them if not. So again, 6 and 10 were swapped. Okay? So the next value to be compared is 10 and 5. This one. Okay? So is 10 greater than 5? Since this is true, then they have to swap places. Okay? So as you can see in step 4, 5 was moved and 10 was they interchange places. Okay? So now we have to compare 10 and 11. Is 10 greater than 11? No, false. So meaning to say, we don't have to swap places. As you can see, okay, on the last step 4, if you're going to check the given values, all given values are sorted. Okay, so that's how the bubble sort algorithm works. Any question, class, before I proceed with the next topic? Do you have any question? Okay, none so far. I think we're good. So let's continue. Okay, the next example is the selection sort algorithm. So the idea of selection sort algorithm is first, find the smallest element in the array. Second, exchange it with the element in the first position. Okay. Third, find the second smallest element and exchange it with the element in the second position. Next, continue until the array is sorted. Okay. So the disadvantage is running time depends only slightly on the amount of order in the file. Okay, let's check how does the selection sort algorithm works. Okay, so we have a given data here. We have the 8, 4, 6, 9, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so based on the given definition from the previous slide, you have to find the smallest element. What is the smallest element? It's number 1, right? So, as you can see, I encircled number 1. So 1, since 1 is the smallest value, we put it in the first set. Okay, we change the position. So 1 is exchange or swap in the position of number 8. Okay? They interchange. Okay? Next, the second smallest value after 1 is number 2. So 2 will interchange or swap in the position of number 4. Okay, as you can see, 2 and 4 swap places. Next, you have to look for the smallest value again, which is number 3. Okay, now 3 will swap into the place of number 6. Okay, now they interchange or they swap places. Next, what is the smallest value? Number 4. Now 4 will swap in the place of 9. Okay? Next, what is the smallest value? Smallest value now is number 6. Now 6 will swap places with number 9. Okay? As you can see in the given data. Next, what is the smallest value now? Number 8. 8 will swap in the place of 9. So that's the final set. Now, as you can see, it's arranged in order. Okay, so that's how the selection sort works. Okay, so as you can see, based from the previous bubble sort, the bubble sort works in comparing the two values and they will interchange or swap. While in the selection sort, we just have to find the smallest value and change it or swap it into the place of the compared value. Okay? Any question, class, before I proceed with the next topic? So this is, again, selection sort. Okay, so I think there's no question. Let's move forward. Okay, there's another example here of the selection sort algorithm. So again, we have the steps here. Select the smallest element, swap it with the data. So if not finished, just repeat number 1 and number 2. So from the given illustration on the right side, as you can see, we have the given data set here, 20, 8, 5, 10, and 7. Now, what is the smallest value? 5. So what you have to do is interchange or swap 5 into 20. Next, second place, okay? Or the array, if you're going to compare it with the array 0, array 1, array 2, array 3, and then array 4. So array 1, look for the smallest value. The smallest value now is 7. So change position or swap 7 into the place of 8. Now, what is the next smallest value after 7? That is 8. So 8 will swap position into 20. Next, what is the next smallest value? 10. Okay, so since it's in the correct place, so it will stay. Next, what is the next value? Smallest value. 20 is the last value. So upon checking, if you can check the last set of data, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 20. This is sorted already, so that's the end of the selection sort algorithm for this set. Okay? So another example of selection sort algorithm here. So this is the third example. So we have a given data here. We have the 3, 9, 6, 1, and 2. Now again, look for the smallest value. The smallest value is 1. all you have to do is to interchange or swap position of 1 into the array 0, which is in the position of number 3. So swap places. So 1 will go to the position of 3, and 3 will go to the position of 1, as you can see on the screen. Okay? Next, what is the next smallest value? We have number 2 here. Okay? Here, we have the number 2. And of course, we're on array 1. So since 2 is the smallest number, the next smallest numbers, they're going to swap places. Okay, so 2 is placed here, and 9 is placed on the position of 2. Okay, so next, let's look for the what? Let's look for the next smallest value. The next smallest value after 2 is 3. Okay, so we are on array what? Array 2. So let's compare. So since 3 is less than 6, swap places. Okay, so that's why it's here, the 3 here. Next, so what is the smallest value? 6. So since it's in the correct position, it stays. What about the next value? The last value is 9. Okay, now the given data set is sorted already. Okay, any question? None so far? Okay, let's continue. So the next type of sorting algorithm here is the insertion sort. Okay, so our insertion sort algorithm. So place ith element or element or item in proper position. Okay, shift those elements data which greater than temp to right by 1 position. Place temp in its proper position. So for you to understand more, here's the given data. So we have the first iteration here. So the first given data set is 20, 8, 5, 10, and 7. Okay? So we are to compare the first two given values, which is 20 and 8. As you can see, 8 is less than 20 and 20 is greater than 8. That's why they swap their places. Okay? Next, so since 8 and 20 is in the correct place, now we're going to move on to the next array. So it's incrementation plus 1. So array 1 and then array 2. So next to compare 20 and 5 is 20 greater than 5. So since yes, we have to what? We have to change places or we have to swap. But what about the 8? Okay. So as you can see, we are not only going to compare the 5 into the 20 only. We're going to compare 5 into 8 and 20. So since 5 is less than 8, okay, they swap places also. Okay, so that's why in the end, in the last row, okay, the given data is 5, 8, and 20. Okay, next. Next to compare is 20 and 10. Okay, so since 10 is less than 20, they have to swap. What about 8 and 5? Is 10 less than 8 and 5? No. So that's the correct position already. Okay, so that's why the sorted value here in the third iteration is 5, 8, 10, 20. Okay, next, we are to compare the value 20 and 7. Okay, so is 7 less than 20? Yes. Is 7 less than 10? Yes. Is 7 less than 8? Yes. Is 7 less than 5? No. So that's why in the fifth row, this is the correct place of 7 or the correct sorting of the values. We have the 5, 7, 8, 10, and 20. So that's how insertion algorithm works. Okay? Any question, class, before I proceed? Yes, you are muted. You just have if you have some questions, you can type in the chat box. Thank you, class. Okay. I'm going to entertain some questions later on. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So again, it's just another example of insertion sort algorithm. So let's compare the first two items, which is 9 and 2. Is 9 greater than 2? Since this is true, they will swap position. Okay? Next, 9 to compare by 5 is so 5 less than 9. Yes, true. What about 2? False. So 2, 5, 9. That's the correct sorted data. Next, what's the next one? What's the step 3? We're going to compare 8. Okay, let's compare 8 and 9. Is 8 less than 9? True. So that's why they're going to swap places. What about 8 and 5? Is 8 less than 5? False. Okay, so meaning to say the 9 and 8 are the only two data that will swap places. Okay? Next, the last value is 7. Is 7 less than 9? Yes. Is 7 less than 8? Yes. Is 7 less than 5? False. So that's why the completed insertion sort is 2, 5, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so again, that's how insertion sort algorithm works. Okay. Any question before I proceed? Okay, I think there's no question. Let me move on to the next topic, which is the merge sort algorithm. So again, merge sort is an external sorting method. So merge sort is another sorting technique and has an algorithm that has a reasonably proficient space-time complexity, O and log n, and is quite trivial to apply. This algorithm is based on splitting a list into two comparable size lists, left and right, then sorting each list and then merging the two sorted lists back together as one. So again, so small lists are easier to sort than large lists. So again, this merge sort algorithm is an example of the divide and conquer algorithm. Okay, you have number 1, you have to split the list in half. Keep repeating step 1 on each sublist until all the lists only contain one item. Merge pairs of sublists so that each sublist has twice as many items. As each time you merge sublists, sort the items into the right order. Repeat step 3 until you've merged all the sublists together. So we're going to apply these steps on the given example. Okay, so as you can see now, I have a given set here, which is the F, P, A, L, T, D, K, and H. Now again, if you're going to do the merge sort algorithm, you will have to apply the divide and conquer. So if you're going to divide, make sure it is equal. Okay? So since this is even, so it's easier to divide. So it's 8. So meaning to say, divided by 2, we have to get 4. That's why, as you can see here, okay, it's divided here. So we're going to split the given data. So we have the FPAL and the TDKH. Okay? Next, we have to split again. We're going to split the FPAL into 2 and the TDKH. That's why we arrive in FP here. Okay? I'm sorry. So we arrive at the FP here and we have arrived in the AL. Next, in the TDKH, we arrived in the TD and KH. We just splitted the given set. Now, split again. Split F and P. We have F. We have P. Split A and L. We have A. We have L. Now, we have to split the TD. We have T. We have D. So split KH, we have K, we have H. Now, after splitting, okay, the next thing we should do is merge. But if you are to merge, you are going to apply also the sorting. So to merge F and P, okay, so to merge, so F, that's why we have FP sorted already. Next, A and L merge, sorted. Next, T and D. So D is less than T. That's why it is the place of T and D swap. We have D and T. Next, K and H, we have to merge and swap. That's why we have H and K. Now, after merging the single data, we're going to merge the two, which is F and P, A and L. So before you merge, you have to apply the sorting. Okay? So that's why we have the A, F, L, P. Okay? Next, we have to merge the D, P, H, K and apply sorting. We have the D, H, K, T. Now, after that, we're going to merge and sort the two, the AFLP and the DHKT. Now, we're going to arrive with ADKFHKLPT. So that's how merge sort algorithm works. Okay? Any question? Plus, do you understand? Okay, another example. Okay, so another example here. So again, it's an even data. We have 8 data here. So it is divided into 2 again. So the 8294 and the 5316. So we just okay, so if you're going to consider this as an array, and then this is the address, which is the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so we divided the array into 2. We split it. That's why we arrive in 8294 and 5316. Okay, so let's start with, okay, it's divided. The next is what? We are to apply what? So we are to apply the sorting. We have the 2, 4, 8, 9, and we have the 1, 3, 5, 6. Okay. So to sort the two sets, to merge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 8, and 9. Okay. So the sorted given value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Okay. So that's how you do the merging. Okay, another example, merge sort recursion. Okay, we have the 8294531 6. So first we have to divide. So to divide, divided into 2, we have to split. We will have the 8294 here, and we have the 5316. So it's easy to divide because this is even. You just have to divide it into 2. Next, divide again. The 8294, you have to split it into 2. So 4 divided by 2, it's 2. That's how we arrive in this 2. So we have the 82 and the 94 here. We have the 53 and we have the 16. Next, we have to divide again. Okay? So divide it 2 into 8 and 2, 9 and 4 into 9 and 4. 5, 3 into 5 and 3. So next 1 and 6, you divide it into 1 and 6. Now we're done dividing. The next thing we should do, or the next step, is what? Merge. Okay? So merge the one element. So 8 and 2, we're going to sort. So since 8 is greater than 2 and 2 is less than 8, swap. Okay? Next, 9 and 4. 9 is greater than 4. So swap. Next, 5 and 3 merge and then sort. 3 is less than 5. So that's why they change places. Next, 1 and 6. Is 1 less than 6? No, just merge. That's why we arrive to 1 and 6. Now, we're done merging one element. Next, we're going to merge what? 2 elements. Okay, merge again. We're going to merge these 2. Okay, to merge and sort. Don't forget, we have the 2, 4, 8, 9. Okay, that's why we arrive here. Next, we have the 3, 5, 1, 6. So, of course, sort, we have the 1, 3, 5, 6. Okay, next, we're going to merge these 2 now, and of course, apply sorting. So to merge and sort, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So that's how merge sort recursion works. Okay, so another example. So the previous example actually is easy to compute because it's an even data. Now, I'm going to show you an example of add. So we have 7 data here, or 7 values. We have the 38, 27, 43, 3, 9, 82, and 10. Okay? Now to split into 2, so we have the 4 here, we have the 3 here. So to split, we have the 38, 27, 43, and 3. We have the 9, 82, and 10 for the second first split. Okay? Next, splitting again. So 4 divided by 2, we have 2 data for the set. We have the 38, 27, we have the 43, and 3. So again, this is only splitting. Next, 9, 82. Next, so 10. Single element, since there, it doesn't have a pair. Okay? Next, are we done on splitting? Not yet, until we reach the 1 element. Okay? Now, 38 and 27 will be split into 1. We have 38, we have 27, 43, and 3. We have to split it. We have 43 and 3. Now, we have to split 9 and 82. 9, 82. Next, split 10. So since this is a single element, let's write it down. Now, we're done on dividing and splitting the elements. Now, what we have to do is what? Merge. Merge the single element. So 38 and 27. 38 is greater than 27. So since this is greater than 27, they have to swap places. So swap places, we have reached 27, 38. Next, we have 43 and 3. 43 is greater than 3. So meaning to say, again, they have to swap. That's how we arrive at 343. Next, 9 and 82. Okay, is 9 less than 82? Yes. So since it's in the correct place, let's just write it up and merge. Okay, next. 10 is a single element. I'm just going to write it up. Okay, next, we're going to merge two sets. Okay, this one. Now, merge and sort. So 3. Okay, next, 27, 38, 43 is the sorted element of the two sets. Next, we have the 9, 82, and 10. So, of course, sorting the given values, we will arrive at 9, 10, 82. Next, we're going to merge the two sets here. Okay? And, of course, sort. So, to sort, we have 3, 9, 10, 27, 38, 43, and 82. So that's how you're going to apply the merge sort algorithm even in add elements. Okay, add data. Okay. So there are pros and cons of merge sort algorithms. Okay. Pros, in general, it is much more efficient and quicker than the bubble sort and insertion sort algorithms for large lists. It has a very consistent running time regardless of how ordered the items in the original list are. Cons, it is slower than other algorithms for small lists. Even if the list is already sorted, it still goes through the whole splitting and merging process. It uses more memory than the other sorting algorithms in order to create the separate list. Okay. So, okay, the next topic is the quick sort algorithm. So, quick sort is also based on the concept of divide and conquer. Same as with the merge sort, okay? But in quick sort, all the heavy lifting or the major work is done while dividing the array into sub-arrays. While in case of merge sort, all the real work happens during merging the sub-arrays. In case of quick sort, the combined step does absolutely nothing. Okay? So it is quick sort algorithm is also called partition exchange sort. This algorithm divides the list into three main parts. Number 1, elements less than the pivot element. Number 2, pivot element central element. 3, elements greater than the pivot element. So how quick sorting works? And the pivot element will be at its final sorted position. The elements to the left and right may not be sorted. Then we pick sub-arrays elements on the left of pivot and elements on the right of pivot. And we perform partitioning on them by choosing a pivot in the sub-arrays. So again, you have to pick a pivot. So quick sort overview, you have to pick a pivot element, partition all the data into A, elements less than the pivot, B, the pivot, C, the elements greater than the pivot. Okay? So number 3, recursively sort A and C. So the answer is as simple as A, B, C. So again, we're going to apply these steps in the given example. Okay, quick sorting in terms of set. So you have a given data set here. We have given values here. So we're going to select a pivot value. So randomly, we selected 65. So since we selected 65, we're going to what? We're going to divide the given data set. Okay? So as you can see, if you're going to divide the given data set, you have to what? You have to divide them by items that less than the pivot and items that are greater than the pivot. So as shown in the screen, these are the data that are less than the pivot. That's how we divide the given data set. Next, the given data here are greater than the pivot. Okay? Next. So now, since we divided it, the next thing we should do is sort the elements. So now, after we partition the given set of elements, we have the S1 and S2, and then we have the pivot 65. So the first S1, the partition S1, we're going to sort that. So sorted values is, of course, the 0, 13, 26, 31, 43, and 57. So again, this is just a pivot. We're just going to write it up. Next is we're going to sort the given data here, the S2. So sorted value is 75, 81, 92. Okay? So what's the next step? So the next step, so since we're done sorting the two sets, the S1 and S2, we're going to sort S1, sort and merge S1, the pivot, and the S2. Now we arrive at 0, 13, 26, 31, 43, 57, 65, 75, 81, 92. So these are the sorted values. Okay, so that's how Quicksort works. Okay, another example here. So Quicksort recursion. So we have to divide. So to divide, you have to pick a pivot. Okay, so the pivot here is 5. Okay, next is, of course, what's the next step? You have to put what's the purpose of the pivot? You have to divide them into what are the least element based on the pivot and what are the elements that are greater than the pivot. So based on the given data here from 82945316, 2431 are the elements that are less than the pivot. While 896 here are the elements that are greater than the pivot. So that's how you divide that's how we're going to divide and conquer the given elements here using the quicksort by means of the pivot. Next, we're going to divide again. Okay, so we have the 2, 1 here. So we pick again pivot. So the pivot here now is 3, okay? So we're going to divide it again. What are the elements that are less than the pivot and the elements that are greater than the pivot? So 2 and 1 is less than the pivot, while 4 is greater than the pivot. Next, moving on to the next set. So what is our pivot? Our pivot is 8. Okay? So the 8 pivot here, what is the least element of 8? This is 6. Element that is greater than the pivot or 8, 9. Okay? Next, divide it again. So if you divide, sort also. So 1, 2. Next, conquer. Okay? Next, write 3, which is the pivot. And since 4 is just one element, we just have to write it up. So that's how we arrive at 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next set. So since this is a single element, given data are sorted, we just have to write it up. We have the 6, 8, and 9. Okay? Next, conquer again. So of course, you have to what? The 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, do not forget about your pivot here, which is 5 and the 6, 8, 9. So conquer, you have to sort the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 8, 9. So since the 1, 2, 3, 4 is already sorted, okay, 5 is greater than 4, and 5 is less than 6. So this is in the correct position already. And 6 and 8 and 9, you just have to write it up. So that's why we arrive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Okay, so that's how quicksort recursion works. Okay, so quicksort details, just to give you some overview again. So how to pick the pivot element. Any choice is correct, data will end up sorted. But we want the two partitions to be about in equal size. Okay? So again, class, as you can see a while ago, we're using the pivot to divide the elements. So in the, we have the elements that are lesser than the pivot, and there are elements that are greater than the pivot. So make sure that you're going to select the correct element or number, just to have an equal division of the given elements. Okay? Okay, as you can see here, what are the best pivot? In the given data set here, or elements from 8, 2, 9, 4, 5, 3, 1, 6, 5 is the best pivot because 5 can divide them equally. Okay? So here, it could be the median or half each time. What is the worst pivot? The worst pivot is, as example here, is 1. Why? 1 is the least element of all other elements. So meaning to say, if you're going to select 1, we cannot divide the elements. If you're going, it's the same manner with 9. If you're going to select 9, then how can you divide the elements? Okay? It's not equally divided. Okay? Okay, so class, any question? Any question, class? So the topic ends here. It's already 7 o'clock. We're going to continue our discussion next week, same time, same day, every Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m. Okay? Thank you, class.